everyone, it's Marcy here from Stampin' with Marcy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I sell all of the products that I share with you here on my video and on my blog. Today I am here with the Creating Kindness design team for our monthly blog and video hop. And this month our theme is negative space. So this is the card that I have created for the negative space. I have die cut out the heart out of my cardstock twice using the Be Mine Stitched Framelits dies. Now these dies here, I used the largest of the heart, and with these dies here, they do double duty. So what that means is when you die cut this, let me just move this out of the way, you are going to, when you die cut it, it cuts like that. So this is a solid heart, and then you've got the stitched outline. So I'm not going to be using this, and I'm not going to be using this today. I did it twice so that I would have the crumb cake for my card front. So let's get started. My dog shadow, I used the dog punch, and my sentiment comes from the Happy Tales stamp set. So what I did was I punched out of a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock my dog and my heart, and I put it over top of my Whisper White. My colors today are Whisper White and Balmy Blue. This card here is Blushing Bride, sorry about that. So this card here is Blushing Bride, and as you can see I have sponged and stamped again on the inside. This is the perfect card for our friends and family that have lost a family member that is on 4 legs. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up on my card front. I'm going to put this at the top, lining it right up edge to edge, and that looks pretty even, but I'm just going to double check by placing my cardstock here, the card front, over top to make sure that my image is going to be pretty much centered in the middle of my heart. And you'll notice that this is just a hair shorter than the base, and that is because when you use your subtle embossing folder, it takes the cardstock and it expands it, it spreads it out a bit. So to make sure that your image, your card front is the same size, just cut it a hair smaller. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my crumb cake ink pad and my sponge, my Stampin' sponge here, and I'm going to ink it up, daub it off so that I get some of that excess, and start on the outside and come in so that I don't get too awful many big splotchy marks. The other design team members that are hopping along with the video are listed below in the video description. please click on the links and follow along with our hop. We truly do appreciate it. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button. Okay, so I think that's probably as dark as I want that. So I'm just going to set that aside, and now I'm going to come in with my balmy blue because I want my heart to be blue, as if that it was a boy dog that passed away. And the more ink you put on, the darker your image is going to be. Okay, and I think that is going to be good. Yes, I like that. It's a nice, deep, rich image. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to bring in my insert paper. And I'm going to do the exact same thing, although I'm going to bring this down a smidge, so that it is more, a little bit more centered on that. So let's bring back in the dauber I used for the crumb cake. And I want this one to be a little lighter, so I'm not going to go quite as heavy. All of the measurements will be listed on my blog. So if you want to pop on over to my blog to get all of the measurements for today's project, as well, all of the links for everybody that is hopping along in our design team will be there, and the product links to be purchasing anything that I've been using today in my online store. Okay. I think that is probably good, and let's come in with a bit of blue now. And just a very light blue. Okay, and now I'm going to come in with the So Sorry for Your Loss. I'm going to close this up so that I don't make a mess. Bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. Move that off. And I'm leaving my mask on just to make sure that I am centered, because I've got that darker image, the line around, so I can see. And just right there. Okay. So when you peel that off, you have that beautiful subtle image. Okay, I'm going to set my template aside. Now I'm going to come in with my card front, and now I'm going to be stamping A Best Friend Leaves a Paw Print on Your Heart. Now when you're die cutting for the card front, make sure it's up high enough that you have room to stamp your sentiment. So I'm going to come in and just stamp right here at the bottom, just like that. Close this up. And now move this stuff to the side so that I can run this through my Big Shot with my subtle embossing folder. So I'm going to bring this in and bring in my embossing folder here, and I'm going to line this up so that it's straight. I'm lining it up with the top line, and I am very carefully going to close it. So that my paper does not shift. And because this is a dynamic textured embossing folder, you only need the one clear plate. Get that in there. You always want to stamp first before you run it through the Big Shot to emboss it. Okay, let me get this out of your way. Come back in. We don't need that anymore. And there you have it. It's got that lovely embossed, subtle. Okay, so now we're going to bring in our card base and the bone folder and the silicone craft sheet. Give that a nice burnish. And my liquid glue. And I have a little trick to show you for when you are going to be gluing that tiny element to your card front, so you don't get glue all over your fingers. Oh, that's a little crooked there. Lift that up. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, when I go to layer this over top, you've got just the hair showing. Actually, there's a bit more of it than a hair on this. I may have taken just a hair too much off, but that is okay with me. So we're going to go all around the edge and right there at that point, and carefully put that over top. Now you could take a X-Acto knife and just trim that off slightly, but you know what? That is off too much, so let me just peel that back up. That's what I love about liquid glue. If you stick it down crooked, you've got a second to get it back. Up. All right, how is that now? Now I've got too much showing at the bottom. Okay, to show you how to get this tiny little heart on here without getting my fingers all gluey, all I'm going to do is take and put a little dot at each of these scallops. Just like this, all the way around. Remember, less is more. You don't need a whole lot. This is much more difficult to do with the camera in my way, reaching forward. Okay, so then you just have to take your heart and line it up and pop it in there into place, just like that. And there you have it. And when I'm all done this video, I will get out my X-Acto knife and carefully trim that down. Oh, and we need to put our insert paper in as well. Oh, and there is my Lola barking. Okay, so there you have my cards. One is appropriate for the loss of a male dog, and one is appropriate for the loss of a female. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Remember to please click on the links below to hop along with our Creating Kindness Design Team blog hop. Check out my blog, www.stampinwithmarcy.com, to read all of the instructions and the measurements, and to click on the other links for the other design team members who do not have a video for this month. Thanks so much. Bye.